Welcome to Maurine's meditation page. These meditations are offered free in service to the divine. If you're interested in working with Maurine, learn more at headtoyourheart.com.
Learning a lot about the power of the heart, which is our connection to this unseen force, this thing called love. What is it? We can't see it. It doesn't have a shape. It's got this name. We call it love in the English language. And yet we all believe in it. We all know it exists. But again, just asking yourself, how much do you really let it into your life? And I think a lot of you know I'm studying with Heart Math Institute and learning a lot about their studies. And one of the things that they found is that the information or the energy that comes out of our heart extends about 3 feet outside of our bodies. The information that comes from your head, about an inch. So the head's just not that powerful, and yet we spend so much time in our heads. So without the regulating influence of the heart, our minds easily fall prey to insecurity, fear, anger, blame. And these are all energy draws. They drain us of energy. So the question to ourselves is, how often do you practice being in your heart? How often do you practice being in your head? So in our Western society, we're kind of in our head a lot. So it's just a good thing to keep asking yourself as you're going through the day, am I coming from my head or am I coming from my heart? Being in a coherent state is whenever you're really tuned into your heart and allowing the head to get into alignment with that. When you're doing that, you're tapping into you're really expanding your intuition, because this is where it's coming from, not up here. When you're doing that, you send more information from your head to your heart than vice versa. I'm sorry, from your heart to your head than vice versa. You're sending more information from your heart to your head. And when you're in that coherence, when you're in that heartfelt state, and that information is going up, the head is actually receiving it instead of acting like a goalie and not tuning in. And it actually allows the brain to take in that deep wisdom of that creative consciousness, to the consciousness that is beyond the mental confines of the physical world. We can tap in to infinite wisdom, limitless healing, limitless possibility. All right, we have access to this. Seems like magic, and really and truly, it is something we absolutely should be practicing and drawing in access to it, coming through your heart, allowing that information to come up into the brain so the brain can get new information and new ways to execute things in the outer life, because that's what the brain is good at, is action. So wisdom, strength, the heart is not weak. And there's a lot of tools we can use when we're using the power of love to remedy situations. The old way is to fight against something, to resist something. So let's say we've got someone who just stole from you, or someone who's really done a transgression. And so the old way is to feel victimized and then to hate that person, or just not to wish them any goodwill. So one of the powers, one of the tools you can use when you're wielding love in this, I learned this at a webinar a few weeks ago, and I just love this one, is to send the one who is bringing you the most distress in your life 6 times what you would want for yourself. So if there's something that you're really wanting for yourself, maybe it's abundant health, or maybe it's goodwill, or, you know, whatever you're wanting for yourself, to send 6 times that to the person who has been a pain. Now, this is not to mean that you have to run out and be their best friend. This is a procedure. This is you wielding that magic, that power of love, because it does a couple of things. First of all, it kind of wipes away that bad karma, and that energy between you two is one of resistance, and it's causing disturbance in your own field. It's causing static in your own field by you holding that lower vibration. So first of all, it liberates you out of that lower vibration. And it really connects us all, because as they say, we are not separate. So when we're releasing that lower vibration, we're bringing ourselves all back into the fold. We all make mistakes. We all suffer. We all do stupid things. We all have hurt people, all to varying degrees. But it brings us into this state of oneness with this person and with the people, because everything everybody does affects everybody. And so if we're sending negativity, that's affecting the whole field. And if we're sending out positivity, that's just raising the field. The other thing that it does on kind of a psychological level is whenever you're sending out blessings 6 times of what, you know, that you would wish for that yourself, or even if you know that person is wanting something for themselves, you can wish them 6 times that. It actually puts you in a position of not being a victim anymore. You're not a victim, because instead you are giving to them. So it really puts you in a position of power, which is a really good thing when you're feeling victimized by somebody. So the other thing we can do when we're moving through our life and having situations come up is, if you've got something that's up for you, that's a conflict or an issue that's been bothering you, take a moment and take a step back, and we'll do a procedure on this. Take a step back and notice where you've been holding it. Most likely, you've been holding it from the mind's perspective. The situation is like this, and it's like that, and that person did this, and this is how I am, and here's my defense or my argument. Here's how it made me feel. And so we've got our story, but this is probably the mind story. And what it's interesting to do is just to take a look and just, where have you been holding it? Have you been holding it from your mind, or have you been holding it from the expanse of the heart? Because the mind is constricted. It holds things tight. It's got to make sense out of the world. Everything's got to be black or white, right or wrong. This is what the brain does oh so well, and it keeps us safe. It allows us to navigate in the world. Thank you, brain. I need you. However, it's wonderful to have the balance and access to the non-constrictive, to the expansive state, and to come into a perspective where we can see the whole picture and even separate ourselves out of it and see it from a higher perspective. So how have you been holding that issue or that conflict? Have you been holding it from the expanse of the heart, or from the constriction of the mind? So let's see, what else do I want to talk to you about? Another fun question to ask yourself is, how else does love want to show up in your life? And how does love show up in your life? And just take that in for a moment. Think about that. all the different ways that love shows up in your life, whether it's you expressing it out or you receiving it or you just observing it. And some of the ways that it can show up is, as we've talked about, is medicine, doing that 6 times thing, sending out healing to others. Incredible way to wield the power of love and lift the consciousness of this planet, not to mention ourselves. Another way love can show up in our lives is compassion, strength, and creativity. And again, talking about the expansion versus the constriction. So, another thing I want to talk about is kind of this, we're kind of toggling between the mind and the heart, love, this power of love, is to get to a place where we are finding mutual agreement between the brain and the heart, to inviting them to work together as partners, as really good friends who depend on each other. The brain is out there doing all the heavy lifting, and it needs some help. It needs to tap into the expanse of the heart to help guide it with more light, turn the light on in the darkness and show it the way. And so it's a relationship, a partnership, and to have faith in that relationship. So, would you guys like to do a process to wield the power of love? All right. So let's get comfortable and close your eyes and just begin to breathe in and out of your heart. And begin to relax the muscles in your body. You just do a body sweep. And with every in-breath, we're resting a little bit more into the nest of your heart. Breathing into the heart. And just inviting that beautiful, wonderful mind of yours to be a blank slate, to start off fresh, almost like a newborn baby. How was it when you were first born? What your brain must have been, a nice, open, receptive slate. And let's bring our minds back to that standard. And imagine an energy vortex at the center of your chest. Breathe into that. And with every breath, allow that breath to feed that energy. A golden ocean of flow, intelligence. It's expansive, limitless, powerful. It is ubiquitous love with a capital L. That golden fluid of healing, powerful love. Imagine with every in-breath that you are inviting that golden flow to extend up the center channel all the way to the center of your head where your pineal gland rests. Through the expansive power of the heart, you're tapping and feeding in and igniting your pineal gland, the gateway to higher consciousness. This is a sacred connection, a relationship done with love, respect, really honoring. And invite love to come full force into your life as a leader. And feel it bathing you with that healing presence. Continuing to breathe that golden fluid of love straight up from the heart into your pineal, awakening that third eye center, connecting you to the broader consciousness. And come back down into your heart with your mind's eye. And has there been any conflict or issue? Or is there any part of yourself that needs to be nurtured? Get a sense of what that is and let that sit in the expanse of your heart. Invite it as an honored guest, whatever this issue, conflict, or part of yourself that needs to be nurtured, whatever it is. Let it sit in the atmosphere of love as you look at it objectively. And just notice how the mind looks at it and has been holding it. From its constricted view, from its limited perspective. And just give that some love, because it's only doing its best, but it's limited. So now I want you to turn to the field of love, to the expanse of your heart, and see through the eyes of your heart how it would view this conflict, this issue, or this part of yourself that needs to be nurtured. Tap into that golden ocean of expanded consciousness coming down from the pineal and activated with the force of love. And through the eyes of love, what do you see? How can you bring a higher vibration to this and see it in the highest way possible, to allow it, to love it, to find room for it, healing? Trusting that we are not given any conflict as an accident. You are loved. You are precious. You are important. You are God's work, universe, the divine's expression. Everything here is meant to lead you up. So let love show you the way. So invite that creative consciousness, the divine, whatever that is, to be your partner, that you are putting yourself out there to really be connected to that higher consciousness, inviting it to be a partner in your life, to be an agent of love, to turn that love onto yourself, to not be afraid of love, but to love fiercely, even that which brings us pain, so we can transform ourselves, situations, even the world. Now allow whatever it was that you brought in as the issue to just dissolve in a sea of love, to break up into tiny droplets and be lost in the sea of love, washed, cleansed, purified. Allow the part of yourself that has been attached to it to also let that attachment dissolve in the sea of love. To purify and restore you to your highest expression, releasing that attachment completely to the ocean of love. There's nothing you have to do or be except for love. Bringing your awareness back into your heart. And as the closing segment here, I'd like for you to generate out, radiate out the waves of that golden love out to every cell in your body, every system in your body. Bathe in that high vibration of intelligent love, sincerely asking with all your heart that you can be a conduit for that love, and to wield love, and to let love lead your life. Not your head, but love, the energy of love to lead, because it won't lead you wrong. And expanding that love out beyond your body. See it as golden waves rippling out, radiating out into the world. First of all, let's create a vortex between all of us here, all of us connected, and let's just send those ripples of love out to each other so that we create this big oasis of love together, sending love to each other. Health, harmony, well-being. And we create a vortex ourselves of love, this community we have together. This really builds the vibration and the energy. It's very powerful, and let's send out a beacon of well-being, harmony, love to our community, our planet, to the consciousness that humanity is in. Let's send it love, and let's send it healing. This is the invisible power you have. We have. This is how we change ourselves. This is how we transform the planet. Sending healing out. And now bringing it back in, and let's just all together focus on that book of prayers that Sue Beth and Paulette manage, and with all our hearts sending love, healing, and whatever it is these people need, let's send that to that book of prayers, to everyone on the list. And thank you for doing that, because it's so much more powerful when we all collect together to do that. And last but not least, let's all say hello to Paulette's cousin Robbie. He's just come on to the other side. And let's celebrate his arrival and send him a lot of love, so that that love can really be a light to guide him in his journey. Thank you for all doing that. And let's just come back into our hearts and begin to get centered, bringing your awareness back to the very center of your body, wherever that is. Staying in touch with that love that you brought in, and breathing into that, breathing that love back in, coming back into your body, being grateful, thanking yourself for everything that you were able to do in that brief meditation, thanking love for being in your life to whatever level it is. And just taking a few moments to come all the way back. Whenever you're ready, take a nice deep breath and open your eyes.
Thank you, Maurine. That was incredible.
Love is incredible.
Boy, the mind keeps trying to drill in there, though, you know? I mean,
Just love it. Just love
how's that
it.
going to make them act any different?
Yeah. Whenever that negative thought comes in, just love it. Love it. And sincerely, I don't mean that. I don't mean it patronizing. I mean, really love it. It's the only way to transform. It's so powerful.
Love your own judgment?
Yes, love it. Love it good. Oh, love it good. Yes, love that judgment. Put it in your arms and love it and kiss it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not expecting that. Judgment's expecting some resistance, some capitulation. It ain't expecting love. Mm-mm.
Wow.
Give it love.
How disarming. It's so interesting to think of love as a weapon.
Yeah. I know. I hesitated using that word, but yeah.
Wow.
Very powerful, Maurine. Thank you.
You're welcome. How was that for everybody? Did you guys get to the golden ocean?
Just what I needed. I was having a lot of difficulty last night. The energies were extremely high yesterday for me last night. It might be because I was doing some energy work for my friends that have cancer, but today is embolic. It might have to do with that also. It's the quarter of the year. It's the embolic, the middle point between spring and winter.
Oh, thanks for pointing that out. Thank you.
I think that was why I was having a really tough time with energy last night, because that was announcing itself. So,
what'd you say? It's a midpoint? I'm sorry.
It's the midpoint between winter and spring, embolic.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It's like It's like the snow's covered on the ground, but things are cooking underneath, and the seeds are getting ready to burst for spring. So, I think Jen Duchesne wrote something interesting about embolic, and Elizabeth Losi also wrote something interesting about embolic. She follows the goddess Bridget. Goddess Bridget supposedly rules the season of embolic. It's a Celtic. If you guys want to learn more about it.
Bridget the poet.
Thank you again, Maureen. We should probably do the closing prayer, and then anybody who is able to and wants to stick around for the extension.
Are you going to stay for questions, Maureen?
Sure.
Good.
I'm here.
I have some.
Okay, well, we'll tie this up so that anybody who needs to can leave. I hold the earth and the sky with love in my heart. I hold the oceans and rivers with love in my heart. I hold the creatures of the earth with love in my heart. Beings big or small, near or far, living now or to come. May they be happy, may they be safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. And so it is.
Wow, what a perfect prayer to end with. Thank you. Thank you guys for asking me today. Thank you.
Thank you for joining in on these free meditations. If you're interested in working with Maurine privately, learn more at headtoyourheart.com.